Bam, bam, bam. We are live. I don't see anybody in here yet. Comment sections is open. There you go. Got some Spanish speakers to begin with. Hello from Idaho. Joseph Kaiser. Howdy. Hello, Brett. Hope you're all well. I'm doing fine. Mark Webb. How are you doing? Wait until we get a few more people in here. I decided I better go live, try to explain myself a little bit. Is there an echo? You guys hear an echo, or does it sound okay? JD 5x5. Give it a little while. Okay, 40. Mountain Belt. Hey, those are my friends that I don't know, but I watch their videos. They make really good videos. I enjoy what they do. Steve Vick, New Mexico elk hunter. Howdy, howdy. Hello, Brett. How are you today, my friend? Ronnie Boyer, doing good? St. Elmo's Fire. Good. Randy Riggs. Randy, I got to thank you for the elk meat. It's really, really good. And I'm this week I'm packing in to a remote location, and I'm going to take a little bit of that buffalo trace that you gave me. Just a little bit. I can't take a whole lot. Just take a little bit. Rita Brandenburg, sounds okay. Good. Linda, Brett, hope you're better. Sounds good. Yeah, I'll do some explaining about that too. Brett Andres, sounds good on my end. Good. Hello from Connecticut. Wow, long ways away. Carol Worrell, all good here. Mountain Belt, you are a friend that we don't know too. I know. One of these days, we'll all have 500,000 subscribers, and we'll do a collaboration. We'll go on a ride together. Patrick Nugent Elbret from Alto. That's a neighbor. Southern Colorado. Howdy. Hello from Arizona. Joe Birdwell. Hey, Brett from Tennessee. Yeah, we're getting some people in here. Cool. Bush Pony. Hi, Brett. Beth in Maryland. Howdy, howdy. Mountain Mill. We'll have to ride the Gila together one day. If you ever come down this way, just holler at me. I mean, if you come to New Mexico and you want to ride the Gila Wilderness Mountain Belt, I'll put that up there. Holler at me. I'd be more than happy to. St. Elmo's Fire elk is better than beef and healthier for you. Wild game is always better for you. Although we have a beef butchered every year, so we know where it comes from and everything. Jake, Mountain Bill are good. Yes. Linda elk is the best. St. Elmo's Fire, Mountain Bill, love it. Elk to myself is better than beef. Yes. Hi, Brett. Just down from the road, North Valley, Las Cruces. Yeah, I went down, and there's a cigar shop. Oh, I can't. Casa de Cigar here in Las Cruces. If you're ever driving through Las Cruces and you want a cigar, drop in there. Those guys are really good. They're really good to me, and they have good cigars. All right, I got to explain myself. I know I comment, or I in the video I talked about it, and then I made a post about it, and I tried to respond to as many comments as I could. I made the last video where I played Red Dead Redemption, and it was kind of it came from the comments. I had so many comments of people saying, oh, the real Red Dead Redemption, this and that and the other thing. I didn't even know what it was. So my grandson, he plays games, and he's 21 years old. Matter of fact, he's in Mexico right now. I asked him, I said, what is this game and how do I play it? And he said, get you a Xbox or a PS, whatever it is. And this thing, I have it right here. He said, you can play it. And I said, will you help me? I said, I might just play it online this week because the wind, we had 60-mile-an-hour gusts. It was miserable, absolutely miserable. So we had one day of decent weather, and I rode up to a place I've been wanting to go to for a long time and hang a game camera. There's a little old game trail that goes up through there, and of course I like to trail lions, and I want to see what's moving around up there. There's a lot of elk and a lot of deer in that area. So I went up there and I filmed that, and I had to get out pretty early because I knew the wind was going to start blowing. And so I filmed that little part. I took and I edited it and put it in the video. But then I got it set up where I could play the Red Dead Redemption. And let me tell you what, I sucked at it. I was terrible. And even what you seen was terrible, but I cut quite a bit of that out. I didn't know how to use the controller or anything, but I thought it'd be fun. I thought maybe some people would like it. I didn't know so many people would dislike it. And man, I had comments that were just terrible. People said they unsubbed because I played Red Dead Redemption. And I admit, it probably was kind of boring to watch an old man try to work his way through that because it was kind of tough. And yeah, I don't think let's see, Sandhill says, gamer, you'll be up all night. No, I don't think so. If I play that game again, and if I ever make a video of it, I'm going to put it on another channel, because not only that, with the YouTube, you have what they call analytics. So you can see, how many times YouTube shows the video to people, and then it shows you, how many times people see the thumbnail and they click on it. It's called click-through rate. And also audience retention. And that shows you how many people clicked on it and then how long they watched it. After about 5 minutes, only 9% of the people who clicked on it were still watching it. So I imagine it was pretty boring. And I'm not here to, I record what I do. I like to share my adventures and where I go and how I do it. And I think that's what people watch the videos for, not to watch me struggle through a game. So promise, I'm not going to play it on this channel anymore. If I decide to play it anymore and record it, I'll just put it on another YouTube channel. So it's something I wanted to get off my chest, because I read the comments. I read almost every comment. Sometimes I don't respond to all of them because I don't know what to say, or I don't know how to respond, or I'm in a hurry. But I read them all, and when I get those bad comments like that, it bothers me. It really does. But there's Mountain Bill. Nothing wrong with trying something new. You're the real deal, and folks who know can see that. Well, thank you. Comments can be brutal. Oh yeah, I've had some really bad ones, but most of the time when I get those, I'm sure, Mountain Bill, I'm sure you guys know, because you probably get some from time to time. I can tell it's just, some kind of yahoo that's just an idiot out there. But these were, people who, they'd say, wow, we love your videos and we watch all of them, but this was ridiculous, or this was terrible, or whatever. Anyway, so I just wanted to explain that. Another thing is, I had some comments about the advertisements on the videos, and we don't have, YouTube puts advertisements on our videos, and we don't even have any choice in it. They put whatever they want, and used to, you could click a little button to say not monetized, but from what I understand now, even if you don't monetize a video, they still run advertisements on the videos. So you know, if they're going to run advertisements on it, they pay us. They give us, I think it's a 40-60 split, something like that. And, you know, it pays for my fuel and some mule feed and this and that. Now, the other advertisements that I do, like for OnX Maps, Olight, I just got Value Pack dog food. Who else? Ellis Canvas Tents. And Ellis doesn't really sponsor me, but they sent me a free cowboy bedroll because I asked them. You know, those cowboy bedrolls are really cool. Canvas, they protect your sleeping bag, and this one that they sent me, you can put some little dowels in it, and it'll be just like a tent. Really cool stuff. The one thing that I want everybody to know is that I won't advertise something that I don't use and I don't like. Because we get a lot of things for like VPNs, virtual something, whatever those things are, and these little generators. They're you charge them up and you can charge your stuff. And I do have one that they sent me, but stuff like that I don't know much about, and I don't care much about advertising them. The other thing I was sent that gray. What is it called? Grayl, Grayl. It's a water filter. And they sent it to me for free, but the jury's still out on it. That thing's really, really hard. You fill it up, you dip it into a water source, and then it's got a tube with a filter on it with an empty space in between, and you push down on it, and it filters the water up into it. And it does a good job, except that it is so hard to push down. I mean, I think there might be a better way to do it. So I don't really advertise it. OnX Maps, though, I think the world of OnX Maps. It's the best app going. I use it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make a video of how I use it on my computer that I'm on right here, because it's just amazing. What I can do is I can pull it up on my computer, and then I can go to an area that I want to explore, and I can find water sources, I can find trails, I can find big saddles that I could ride through, and it's really cool because then I can make routes, I can measure distances, I can see the land status, whether it's a private BLM, Forest Service, or state lease. And I know where I can go, where I have permission to go, wherever what's public, and I can make waypoints. And then everything I put on my computer, it automatically goes to my iPhone and the app on my iPhone. So when I'm out there, man, I can pull up my phone. I can see, you know, my route, or I can see where there's water, or I can go to, you know, wherever I had marked. So I think the world of OnX Maps. Olight, the same way. Love Olight. Like I've said in my videos, man, I'm 63 years old. I was raised where you went down to Kmart and bought, you know, just a little cheap flashlight, and they weren't the LED lights or anything, and you had to change the batteries out on them and everything, and the Olight lights, the headlamps, and the flashlights are unbelievable. And they're really good to me. I just sent them a message one day, said, hey, I lost my headlamp. Will you guys send me one? Bam. They said, man, you're one of our partners. We'll get you one out today. And they sent me one right away. So they're good company. I think they're probably out of China or something, but I don't know. I don't know much about that. So anyway, if any of you guys have, wait, this was bad. This was sad. Desert Drifter, that guy made unbelievable, super good videos. He went to some really interesting places, and I guess he had a car accident, and he was on life support, and I think they pulled the plug on him, and he passed away. And so prayers go out to his family and everything. I know that's got to be tough. He made super good videos. Let's see who else. Watchtower Mountain Living. Is that no? I know Hayden Powell from over there, Wichita Mule School. I think it over there in Arkansas. And I got a bunch of relatives that live in Mena, not Mena, yeah, Mena, Arkansas, I believe. Anyway, so guys, I wanted to kind of clear that up, and then with the sponsors too. You know, the sponsors help me, get to and Value Pack dog food. Let me share this right here. Value Pack dog food. I got lucky. I people owned a big hardware store. It's called Village Hardware in Hatch, New Mexico. If you're ever driving through Hatch, stop at the Village Hardware store and stop. If you need anything, buy something, and tell them where you heard about them. But they were looking for another dog food company, and I knew the guys from Value Pack because they had sponsored me one time before, and I put them together, and I mean, their dog food is super good. Doesn't have corn or soybean or any of that stuff in it. It's good dog food, and they sponsor me. So, and the way they sponsor me is they're feeding my dogs. So that's really cool. I had one dog, Rusty. People complained about him in one of my videos because he's what we call a hard keeper. He doesn't gain any weight. And I started feeding him the purple sack of the Value Pack dog food, and man, he's put on the weight. The other dogs, even Fat Lori, like I said, she's kind of tightening it up in the flank and muscling up some. So it's good dog food, man. Really good dog food. Who else? Who else do I work with? Oh, Fire Maple. I don't. They're sending me a deal to make my coffee in. I lost my jet boil that I carry around in my saddle. What's the name? Mountain Ridge Gear. All my saddlebags and my panniers and everything come from Mountain Ridge Gear. And they got those little pouches on the side, and a jet boil fit just perfect in there. And, of course, I love my coffee. Oh, speaking of coffee, check this out. You can go right here on the web and order my coffee. And this is a friend of mine. He owns Full Cry Magazine. And he's the one who contacted me and said, hey, he said, I've got this company that packages this really, really good coffee. He said, we'd sure like to work with you. And we can package it with your logo, but you need to pick out what coffee you want. And he sent me a bunch of samples, and I picked out this kind. So if you like coffee and you like the kind of the high-end coffee and you want to help us out, you can go to that website and order some. And they also have a subscription service where you can, I guess you see how much you want and you subscribe to it, and they'll send it to you out a couple times a month. Let's see, New Mexico Hatch is well worth stopping by. I remember when Jerry Lackey had a Chevy dealership there. Yes, yep, I remember that well too. I had a farm at one time right outside of Hatch in Rincon. I had a little farm, and I was almost as good a farmer as I am a gamer. That farming requires you to do things on time at certain times, and I was always getting sidetracked. I was roping a lot then. I'd be going to ropings, and when I wasn't roping, I'd be going in the hills and riding around. So farming wasn't meant. I wasn't meant to be a farmer, put it that way. Yep, prayers for desert drifters, wife and family. Yes, got to be careful. Anyway, I'll look at some of these comments here. Let's see if I can figure out how to pull this up. Virginia, Georgia. I love your coffee. There you go. Well, thank you. Love your coffee, Brett. I'm drinking it up here off the west coast of British Columbia on an island. Oh, cool. I'm drinking some of it right now myself. Anyway, I know there's a way I can pull up comments right here. Oh, here you go. Okay, from Jay. Oh, I had one guy call me a rookie mistake for not wearing my spurs. One of the reasons I don't like to wear spurs is because I have to get off and hike. And my first good mule I rode was my Jet Johnson mule, and you never had to wear spurs on him. He just went. He had a big motor, and he would go. Big Agnes, I always had to wear spurs on her. She was pretty lazy, but she was as safe as they came, and she had a lot of good traits about her. And but Bonnie, I didn't think I would, but after I've rode her for well, I've had her for over a year now, or right at a year, and she started getting a little lazy on me and arguing with me, so I had to put some spurs on, and she takes it real good. And you don't have to pedal her. All you got to do is poke her a few times, and she'll go ahead and get the idea and go. So, New Mexico elk hunter, here's one of your questions. Very cool. Is the music from Jeremiah Johnson? That's on a little short that I put out. Yes, it was. Jeremiah Johnson, one of my favorite videos. Matter of fact, you can see these movie posters back here behind me. You can't see this one right here is Jeremiah Johnson. Okay, what is the name of my other channel? I have another channel called Interviews, Stories, and Tales. And I just put up some stuff more specific to hounds and lion hunting. And then typically we'll go live on Monday nights on that channel. But here, I'm going to take a couple weeks off. And I got to have some time when the wind's not blowing to be able to go out. So that was kind of interfering with that. Let's see. Oh, about my lip, the cancer deal. What happened was I had this big spot on my lip. And what happens is I ride mules and I have hound dogs. So occasionally I do get mad at them. And when I get mad, I bite my lip. And I bit it so much that I got a spot on it, and it got bigger and bigger. So when I went to the dentist said I needed to go to an oral surgeon. So I went to an oral surgeon, and they cut that thing out and sent it in for a biopsy. So it kind of slowed me down. And of course, you worry about stuff like that. And I expected, we went in, when was it? Last week for the results. They called us in. They said whether it's positive or negative, we still call you in to the office. So my wife and I had to go into the office there, and I expected them to either say, yes, it was positive for cancer, or no, it's benign. But what they said was, well, what we took out come back benign, but there's some nodes or something, some other spots that's back in there that we didn't get, and it needs to be treated like it is cancer. So I had to make an appointment with a dermatologist, and they told me that they're either going to have to cut the rest of that out or burn it, or they said they might even have some kind of cream they have to put in it. But they said they were sure it hadn't gone down into my neck or anything like that yet. So anyway, that's the story on that. So, kind of bothers you. Let's see. Gosh, I'm so sorry about your diagnosis. I see you're wearing spurs on this adventure. There you go. Yeah. Oh, and he asked about the leather gaiters. I have some little half shaps. What do you call them? They're gaiters. They're leather gaiters, and you just zip them on. I used to wear them all the time. Now I wear not really chaps, but they're more like leggings, I guess. They zip down the back. But the little half chaps are nice to wear in the summer when it gets so hot. You just have those, and when you're riding those mules through the brush, from your knee down, I mean, because a lot of times I'm following those hounds, and you're not on a trail, and you're busting brush, and your shins sit out there where you hit branches and everything. So My shins are all scarred up from that. So it protects your legs. How did Bonnie react to that? Oh, she did. Oh, to the 410, to shooting the gun. Not even a flinch. Most of the time when you shoot the gun with those, it happens so fast that they don't react to it much. I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't had one react bad yet to a gunshot. Southern Colorado have gypsy vanners now. Nice, but mules seem better. Oh, yeah. Mules are tough. They're sure-footed. They're tough. And for what I do, they're suited for what I do. Now, if I was out in flat country and chasing cows or roped, I used to rope a lot. I would be on a good horse for sure. But I like the mules for what I do, that's for sure. You could have kept the talking about my place up in the mountains. I could have kept the 61 acres. I could have, and this is from Stephen McCoy. It just got where it was worth a lot of money, and we were strung out. I had that property up there in the mountains. I had some property in Caballo, and then we were renting a house in Las Cruces, and my wife was having to drive back and forth, and it got to be worth a lot of money, so I sold it. Anyway, what the heck was that? Sounded to me like a guy saying something. I might have been listening to a podcast. Let's see. I'm new to your channel. Have you ever done a video on your rig and gear that you use? I'd be interested. I did one a long time ago. I need to do another one because a few things have changed. My gear's changed. Some of the things I use have changed. Here soon, I'll make another video on my gear, and then also I think a lot of people are curious about your EDC, your everyday carry. Certain things I never go out, even if I'm riding out here behind the house. Certain things I never go out without. One thing I never go anywhere without is a weapon. I always have a weapon. You might not be able to see. I bred a little bit of that run and walker into them, see what that's like. I know he does real good with them. So, who flies the drone? Is another question. Most of the time I do. And that's kind of tricky. But I got this new drone called a Neo, and it doesn't bother Bonnie. It makes a lot of noise, but you can take it off right from your hand, and it has a follow you. It locks onto you, and then you can ride away, and it'll just follow you. It's pretty cool. One of the videos, I had my grandson go out and fly the other drone. It's a DJI Mavic, and he flew it and got some pretty cool shots for me. Where in your journey did you realize you have such a passion for this? That's a good question. Since I was a little bitty kid, I was so little. The first time that we went to the mountains, I rode double behind my brother-in-law. I was, I don't know, 5, 6 years old, something like that. And then he left. He had to go back to work, and I rode an old roan gelding that my dad had named Poco, and he was just as good as they get. And I rode him for years in the mountains. But it was always in my nature just to get out and get away. This is the most public thing I do. I go to church every now and then, and I don't hardly do anything else. I roped there for a while. I got into roping, and I roped at a high level, and I really enjoyed that. I liked riding good horses and competing. But who flies a drone? What sunglasses are those, and where did you pick them up? I need a pair. Those, I got them. I need a tag, and I went and I shot a nice bull oryx. And matter of fact, they make a real neat mount, and I got his head mounted and in my house, but in really, really good meat. If you ever get a chance, put in for it, because the meat is it's better. I like it better than elk. Let's put it that way. Let's see. where did the travel trailer come from? First segment when I can't remember which video that is. You loaded up to the next place. You rode past it and another horse trailer. Just curious. I'm not sure. Let me see. I don't know. I don't know which video that was. I'm sorry. Very interesting story and adventure. I wonder which season the story was built for. You were wondering too. I'm not sure. Maybe Stone Quarry. How do you get those dogs back when it's time to go home? Well, we have tracking collars on all the dogs, and they also have you can shock them or tone them. If they're doing something and they're not paying attention to them, then you can give them a little bit of shock. But I train all my dogs to come back to me on a tone. But but we ride through the country, and they don't get away from me. They stay with me. And when they hit a track, then they start trailing, and when they trail, they what we call open. They open up on that track, and before they can leave me, they gotta open and bark. I call it asking for permission, and then I try to stay with them. I try to hunt the old-fashioned way. I don't just sit in a buggy or a truck and watch the Garmin and see where they go. I try to go with them. I try to stay with them best I can. What else? And more questions. Hey, brother, I'm 63 years old, young in Nevada. Where'd you get your saddle, and what's the measurements on it? I think it has a 16-inch seat. Let me see. I got a picture of it here. Right there. Nope, that's not it. Let me see. This is a neat saddle. A guy named Steve Schooley built the saddle for me. It's a copy of a guy that's a saddle maker out of California that it's called a mountain saddle, because I've got like 14 roping saddles that I won, and then I've got several other saddles that I had built, and some of the old saddles that I got from my dad that an old man named Mr. Mars built. But I decided, for what I do, why make that mule carry a big old heavy roping saddle? There's no need for that. So I seen the design of this saddle, and I got a hold of Mr. Schooley, and I asked him if he could build one like it for me, and he said sure. So he built that saddle for me. I don't know what it weighs, but it's not very heavy at all, and it performs what I need to do. Just riding through the mountains, you don't need a big old heavy saddle. Take it easy on your mule. I'm big and heavy enough. Do you have a wagon for your mules? No, I don't know anything about driving mules or doing any of that. I would like to learn one of these days. Let's see. I'd love to forge you a custom knife for working. Oh, that'd be cool. Get a hold of me. I got one that an Indian friend of mine made for me. He bought a couple dogs from me, and he made me a pretty nice knife. I don't know. I probably haven't showed it in any of my videos. But our OnX covered, yeah, under any game laws, yes. Where did the OnX come from? I think they're from Africa. I'm not sure. Is that a 410 Henry you carry? Yes, that's a Henry 410. And I just thought, I bought it. I like a lever action. It fits in my scabbard really good. I thought, and it holds, I think, 6 shells. So I loaded up with two number 6 shot, and then the rest are slugs. But let me tell you from experience, if you're going to buy slugs and you expect to kill anything, that's further away than 10 or 15 yards, make sure you don't buy cheap slugs. Buy the expensive ones. And that there's no video on it, but just from experience, because it doesn't do a good job. You don't get a clean kill with those cheap slugs. Probably best not to mess with the mine and the legend. Maybe a younger day, huh? Maybe. When is your coffee going to be available? It's available now. I couldn't even imagine living in the abandoned high desert pool hole. How they get back in there. I have no idea. Where's your metal detector? There's my buddy, Mike Glenn, Chai Movie. Where's your metal detector? Bet you could find something cool with one. I do have a metal detector. I need to start packing it with me to some of these places I go to. Might be able to find something interesting. What does your kids think about what you're doing? Would they carry on the tradition? My grandson enjoys it. He goes with me from time when he right now he is 21 years old and he's young. And if you know what I mean, he's got other things on his mind. So when he was young, he used to go with me a lot when he was a little bitty guy. And I had Jet Johnson, and I had mule I called Jenny Johnson. And he rode Jenny Johnson all over the place. And she was a good mule. She's a good pack mule. Terrible for me to ride by myself. But as long as she was with Jet and she was following Jet, she'd go all day long. So let's see. Is there any trout in the river? No. Not that I know of. Sweetie, you're a cat hunter, make a living. No, who pays for pelts? No, you don't make a living being a cat hunter unless you guide hunters. That's the way they make a living. And that's a rough way to make a living, let me tell you. You have to be in better country, I think, than where I'm at, or be willing to travel a long ways. Let's see. I'd like to understand what breeding your mounts have that you refer to them as mules. The mules in the mountains are about close to double the size of your mules. Do you know how your mules are such smaller? They're probably out of a quarter horse mare and a donkey, a jack, probably even a mammoth jack, I'm sure. I don't know how they're bred. I buy them and ride them. That's what I do. How do you get a hold of you can send me an email to Brett, Brett, at born100yearstoolate.com. That's my email. I need to put it down in the description of this. Someone said something about my summer hat. That big hat I wear, that big palm leaf hat, I get, and I'm not sponsored, I get them from Sun Body Hats. And I always tell everybody it protects me. I'm pigment impaired. I get sunburned real easy. So it helps me. And there was a lady, she was Bernice Indy. She's a lady long rider. She rode all over the country, crossed back and forth across the United States. She was an amazing lady. And she wore a hat like that. And I liked the way it looked, so I started buying them. Daryl Hill, how's the Butterfield Trail looking? I have to find enough time to go and research and travel. Probably in my I got a side by side or a UTV. I got to go find where I can get through, do some recon, and I don't want to do a lot of road riding. I want to try to stay off the roads as much as possible and cut across and do some things like that, but try to hit the stage stops. And then also I have to stash some feed for the mules and different things along the way, so I don't have to pack so much, and I don't have to depend on finding good grass every night, because this desert doesn't always have good grass. So, and I don't want my mules to suffer. So that's something I've been trying to find the time to do. I've been pretty busy here lately. You probably don't believe in UFOs. Somebody said something about UFOs. Seems to me they captured one on video. Check it out. I don't know. I've been out there a lot. I've never seen a UFO, or at least nothing that I thought was a UFO. Oh, thank you. We love you from over here in Springer, Arizona. That's a beautiful place over there in Springerville. Drove through it several times. What else? How far? Glad you were carrying your rifle. How far was it back to your truck? And can your mule handle a 250-pound man on her for the day? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I fluctuate. I'm pretty close to 240 pounds, but yeah, I mean, and typically, I I mean, I try to ride. We call them circles, and I try to ride, you know, a 15-mile circle. 10 to 15 miles. Anything over 15 miles in that rough country, everything gets too tired, really. Now down here in the easy country in the flats, 20, 25 miles is nothing. But up there when you're going up and down and busting brush and you're not staying to maintain trails, anything over 15 miles wears everything out. Hi from Brazil. Brazil, cool. Ed and Yvonne Plum. Hello, Brett, coming to you from Vancouver Island, British Columbia. Thank you. Love the channel. I appreciate it. I didn't, SLB, I didn't unsub. I didn't watch it. I do not like gaming stuff. There you go. That's fair, though. I'm thankful that none of my grown kids ever had any of that stuff. Thank God. Well, that's fair. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And I'm sure and honestly, most of my viewers are older people. And I thought, well, if I make this Red Dead Redemption video, maybe I'll bring in younger viewers, and then I put that little segment in the front of me riding my mule, and then they seen that and they watched the Red Dead Redemption, and they could see, well, people still do stuff like this. And I thought, well, maybe they'd get interested in the videos, and then they'd also get interested in trying to do it themselves, But I don't think any of the younger people are really watching it. And then when your regular viewers don't watch your videos and the audience retention is so low, YouTube doesn't send it out anymore. They don't send it out, or promote it, or whatever they do. The algorithm doesn't send it out. However that works. God, you have, okay. They sure spend a lot of time there. Wonder why. The water, food, I don't know. You're so blessed to be able to do this. I am. Did you have your tarp in between your GPS and where the satellites would be? That's possible. That's maybe why it wasn't working. Let's see. Snowy. I get confused with the Pamela Wooten. I see her commenting on my stuff from time to time. Pine Top, Arizona. That's another beautiful place. Really enjoy your videos. Thank you, Pamela. Don Walker. I enjoy them myself. Cool. What else? Where'd you get your pullover shirts? These shirts, 3-button, 4-button. I think they're 3-button. There's a real famous lion hunter that wears these shirts, and his name's Warner Glenn. And they're kind of a heavy canvas, and they protect you real well. And I forget what the company that makes them. And I told my wife about them, and she found out who made them, and I think she got on eBay, and she found like 4 of them, and she bought them all for me. So, yes, let's see. Sid, do you carry a solar charger for your device? Yes, I carry I carry one of those little battery things to recharge my phone and my my cameras and stuff. And then in my trailer, my little trailer, I got a solar panel on top of it, and a converter, and I got a lithium ion battery in it. And I keep all my collars for my dogs charging in it, and then I also keep my GPS charging, and then I also carry a little Garmin InReach Messenger with me, and but it lasts. Shoot, the battery in it'll last like 28 days. It's really good. And then you know, I have a wife, so and she worries about me, so we can stay in touch that way. I can send her messages, tell her I'm okay, and then with that comes the coordinates of where you're at, so she can click on that and see where I'm at. And if anything ever happens, you know, it's got an SOS button on it, and I always carry it in my top pocket so I can reach it in case anything happens. Let's see, Supercharger, thank you. Something to watch, great animals. When are you going back to the Gila? I'll be going back to the Gila pretty soon. Matter of fact, I'm going back this week, but to the lower end of it. I'm gonna go set me up a remote camp. So if you need a friend to travel with you on the Butterfield Trail, I'll go with you. Just dreaming. Can't wait for that adventure. Oh, yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know, man. I got to schedule 8 days for that ride, and I'm having a hard time getting it scheduled. Honestly, I had someone ask me in the questions here whether I shoe my mules. Agnes, we put shoes on her for the first year, and then I started just putting shoes on her front feet, and then I quit putting shoes on her at all, and she never took a bad step. She never went lame, never got sore-footed or anything. She was really tough-footed. Jet Johnson, my mule before that, always had to put shoes on him. He would get sore-footed. Bonnie, I put shoes on her, and because I think Bonnie, for some reason, you know, she handles real good and everything. And if you look at her real close, I think she tends to favor the horse side of the equation more than the jackass side. Let's see. Have you seen increased border patrol activity? Hopefully, you'll be safer now when you're out alone. You know, I haven't seen. I rarely run into border patrol, just on the highways. I don't hardly run into them out in the middle of nowhere where I go. Almost it for you. Carry a solar charger. Hello from the Texas Panhandle. You've seen some of the other mule channels. Yeah, I watch Mountain Bill. Them. I watch them. There's a guy. He doesn't ride mules. He rides horses called Wilderness Riders. He doesn't make a lot of videos, but he makes some really good videos of riding into the high country. I think he's up in Wyoming or something like that. And Ouachita Mule School, Hayden Powell. I don't know. My wife wrote a poem about me, and I sent it to Hayden Powell. Hayden Powell's a really good musician, and he spent a couple years in Nashville, and I sent it to him, and I said, "Do you think you could put music to it?" And he did, and it's really, really good. I've shared a little bit of it on some of my videos, but I want to make a regular music video out of it, and it'll probably be about like my Red Dead Redemption video, but it's something I want to do. Yeah, because it's a really, really cool song. Matter of fact, Hayden says it's probably one of the best songs he's ever heard. So my wife's if I can get her to do it, she was a real good writer and poet. And she used to do it all the time. I don't know why she kind of slowed down and quit. Is the rifle you carry a 30-30? Yep. Winchester Model 94 30-30. We've been watching for about 3 weeks now. We love your content. Oh, thank you. And can't get enough, please. Thank you. Please ride safe and God bless. God bless you too. Your animals. Thank you. Looking forward to new videos. Man, me too. I'm looking forward to going some places and sharing those places and the adventure with you guys. Let's see. What tobacco do you like? I have 100 or so pipes. That's when I had my pipe. I broke my pipe and I started smoking a cigar. And I tried just to smoke a cigar. Sometimes I go 2 or 3 days and don't smoke one. Sometimes I just smoke one a day. And what I really love to do, and I'm not a drinker, but what I love to do is sit at the campfire, smoke a cigar, and have a shot of whiskey. That's the only place I'll drink. So that way I won't get in trouble out there in the middle of nowhere. Uncle, is that you? That must be one of my nephews. What part of the country? You're in southern New Mexico. What do you feed the mule when you're out exploring? I carry some alfalfa pellets or grass pellets, not alfalfa pellets, grass pellets. But I'm not convinced that's the best, because when you feed any kind of pellet like that, then they need to drink a lot of water. So I started carrying just oats, rolled oats, and then I haven't done it in a while. I need to. I have hobbles, and you run into some grass somewhere. You can hobble your mules and let them graze and get some feed that way. Why sometimes you speak in English? A veces español. Yo hablo español, yo poquito. Yo sabe español por la trabajo. Ándale pues, no dale con ganas. Of course, that's all for work, is what I said. That's why sometimes you speak in English. Just curious. I'm only halfway through into the video. I was wondering why if you pack hay cubes or something. I just answer. Do you have a collapsible bucket? Yeah, I do have a collapsible bucket that I carry with me. But most of them, I just ride them up to a spring or to a water trough, or where they water cattle, and I let the mules. It's funny about the mules in water. I mean, they don't drink until they're real thirsty. At least my mules don't. They don't drink until they're real thirsty, and then they'll tank up. They'll drink a lot. But man, you ride for miles, and you think they'd really start drinking, and you ride up to water, and they just stand there. They won't drink. A lot of people complained about. I made that one video where my camera went dead, and I didn't show myself feeding the dogs, feeding the mules, or watering the mules, and I got a lot of bad comments on that. Brother, you've come a long ways. What happened to your hunting camp with the cabin? I sold it. 2 rooms, no door. Okay, fantastic journey, the rock formation part. What product do you use to make bread over a campfire? That was hardtack. I got a recipe for hardtack, and I made it. I didn't do a very good job. It was all right, but I didn't do a very good job. Love it again. The snow. Wow, the thing slept in a well swag. So silly question. Do you worry about rattlesnakes getting into your bedroll while you're sleeping, and do you tie the dogs up? No. Now, if I take those male dogs, I chain them up, because they will wander off. The female dogs, I don't worry about them. They all sleep right around me. Oh, and the lurcher dog I have, Peso, I wouldn't chain him up. He always stays with me. But those male hound dogs, they'll all get together and decide to go hunting by themselves. And I don't worry about rattlesnakes around my tent or my sleeping bag or anything like that. I never really even think about it. We have lots of rattlesnakes, but I don't worry about it. What state you in? New Mexico. Have you considered, or do you do guided packs into the wilderness? I would be interested. I too feel I was born in a different era than I am. I've thought about it. I've helped people. I made that one video where I went up and helped an outfitter up here. He had a conflicting schedule. He had some hunters coming in that he was going to pack in, and then he also had a contract with the Forest Service, a trail crew that was working on the trails that was way up in the wilderness. And I took my pack mule, and then I took a string of his mules in, and we packed all their gear out. I got a video up there of me doing that. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. I mean, when you're packing, you got a string of 7 mules, and you're packing that stuff out, man, it's a lot of work. And I've never guided anybody or anything like that. I don't know. I just, I think it might take the fun out of it for me, and it would become just a lot of work. I like to have the freedom of deciding where I'm going and what I'm doing, all that stuff. Oh, could you send the list of the cook gear and the links in an email? Yeah, I need if you join my email list, all that stuff is in my email list. And if you look, not the Red Dead Redemption video, but the video before that, if you go down in the description, there's a form or a thing you can click on where you can get on the email list, and it has all my sponsors, and it has a list of the gear and stuff. I believe that's on there where we need to put links for Amazon for some of that stuff. Great videos, camping, riding mules, outdoors, good man. Oh, javelinas. Yeah, we have javelinas. They're just like a little, they're like a hog, but I think they're more closely related to a rat. But they're nasty little animals, and if they run in groups, and if they have little ones with them, and you've got dogs with you, I mean, they come after you. They'll come get you. I mean, they'll come after the dogs and everything else. And it's not like, like where they run hogs, wild hogs. These things, they fight together. They're they're like those guys I used to have fight when I was a kid. They don't fight fair. You got to fight the whole group of them. Where did you get the lantern? Oh, that little lantern, that oh, I forget the name of it. It's a pretty handy little lantern. It's got a mantle, and you just screw a little propane thing on it, and it's a little bitty, and it puts off a lot of light. Do. That gang of 35 with automatic weapons is no small matter. No, when I was up there, the Border Patrol, when I went through the check station, they warned me about that and told me to be careful. They already captured those guys, but I guess they have a lot of people coming through up through here. I think they hide from me. I've been up here a lot, and I haven't ever seen anybody yet or anybody smuggling anything yet. How hot do you think those rocks get in the summer? Yeah, they get pretty hot. Take the shelter, heat reflector, and how do deal with a tent? How do I deal with a tent? I got my tent. I got a snow tracker tent, and it's a canvas tent, and it's what they use on these dog sleds. And it's not that heavy, but it's real big. It packs down real small, and that's what I'm going to pack in up here for my remote camp. I'm going to try to get it up there and leave it for a little while. I think I can leave it for 14 days legally in the forest, and I guess if nobody finds it, I can leave it for longer than that. A lot of times I just like to throw a tarp up. I don't like to set up a tent. Just string a tarp up between trees and sleep underneath that. And I've got a sleeping bag that I think they climb Mount Everest with that thing. I don't like to get cold when I sleep, so it was a real expensive sleeping bag, and it does keep you warm. Do you use drill trick on your mules, on your mule shoes? No, I don't. I've thought about using, what do you call it, borium. Having borium put on them, it gives them better traction, and the shoes will last longer. I've thought about doing that. Would you ever move from New Mexico? Or the one day New Mexico nuclear missile sounds crazy. I'm a native New Mexican, born and raised. And my mom and dad are still here, and my oldest daughter's still here, and my grandson's here. So I got a lot of family here. My dad is 91 years old, and my mom's 90 years old, and they live about 5 miles from me, and they still get around. Well, my mom doesn't get around very good, but my dad gets around real good. Still drives, still goes all over the place. We go to a Bible study during the week too. I take him down there where a bunch of old men sit around, and the preacher's there, and he reads, he preaches to us a little bit, and we all get to sit around and talk. It's pretty cool. Do you know if OnX Maps show mining claims? I don't know. I bet they do. All right, guys. Let's see. Any other questions? I promised my wife I'd only stay on here for an hour. So She's going to have dinner ready. Have you heard of Soldier's Farewell? Yes, on the Butterfield Trail I have. Which cigars are you liking? I'm still trying to figure that out. I like different kinds. This is about as much as I smoke. This one is all day, and then I'll smoke some more of it tomorrow. It's Buffalo from Buffalo Trace. Randy Riggs, my buddy, gave me a bottle of Buffalo Trace whiskey, and I didn't know they had cigars, and they had some down there at the cigar shop. So I bought them. I like it all right. I haven't figured out a favorite yet. Hey, Brett, my husband and I sit and watch your videos all the time. He even emailed you a link to watch some videos. Uh-oh. I'll have to look. Joffrey, you may have already addressed it, but have you heard that Andrew... Yeah, I did. Andrew, Desert Drifter, passed away. Just hit the like button. Hit that like button. Subscribe, like, comment. Isn't that what all the YouTubers say? I love hounds. My daughter has a blue tick female cool hound. She loves her. They make good pets, too. Hey, my buddy, Robert Pierpoint. I haven't heard from him in a long time. Why do you carry the rifle instead of a pistol? I have a pistol that I carry in the door panel of my truck. I guess I could get better at a pistol, but I'm not very good with a pistol. I feel more comfortable with the rifle. And I can pull it out pretty fast. Been looking at land around Ramos, Southwest New Mexico, nice country. Yep. Do you ever have an angry landowner to deal with? Yes, I have had. I had a guy. I don't even need to go into it really. Yes, I have had an angry landowner, and we had a long talk, and we got it kind of worked out. Ever figure out the controllers on Red Dead? No, I didn't. My aiming was terrible. I didn't know how to get that little white dot on people, but I got a little better at the end. So very sad. I just loved his videos. Yeah. Thanks for the info. I hadn't heard we lost a good person, and yes, we did. Brett, I had a horse end up with a twist fracture of her lower pastern bone due to boreal. Oh, really? It didn't slide. It stuck to the rock. That makes sense. Ever run across any turquoise? No, I haven't. I'm usually looking for lion tracks is what I like to get those dogs trailing. What's up, grub tonight, buddy? Yeah, what's for grub tonight, buddy? Pork steak. We're having pork steak tonight. This week, I'll be cooking a steak on the fire. Randy Reyes, yes, OnX shows mining claims. Oh, there you go. Whoever was asking that question. I forgot to ask if anybody still live around the Black Canyon? No, I don't know. My dad was born there. Oh, cool. Your email one more time, please. It's Brett, BRETT, at born100, and that's 100 years too late, and that's TOO late.com. I had a male beagle, but he had to be on a leash or he run off on a scent. He was Houdini. Yeah, those beagles are cool little dogs. Do you travel? Sid asked, do you travel to other states to trail ride? No, but I want to. I'd like to see some of that high country in Colorado. Heck, I'd like to go to northern New Mexico and ride some of that high country. My dad and I were coming back from a Bible study Tuesday morning last week, and he was telling me about the San Pedro parks up in northern New Mexico. And see, my dad, that's where all this really came from. My dad's name is Packy, Pack, and that's he used to always tell me stories about packing when he was a kid and everything, and it fascinated me. Eat some green chili for me. Not much here in Oklahoma. Tried some Buffalo Trace last night. Quite good. Yep. Around the campfire, just a little bit of whiskey sure helps me sleep better. Get a judge to go along with you, Henry. Hey, I've looked at those. The judge. That would be pretty cool. Guys, thank you. Promise I won't put out another gaming video unless if I do, I'll put it on another channel, and I'll go to the community page on my YouTube channel, and I'll put a link to it to go over to that other channel and watch it if you want to watch an old man struggle with one of these games. They say it's really cool, that it's a whole world. Once you get past through that first part, you can go hunting, there's lots of things you can do in it. So I thought that'd be pretty cool. Try Cazador's tequila. Love from Norway. Can you hunt pumas all year long and wonder if your mule have ever run away from you in your desert tours? No, I've never had a mule try to get away from me. Matter of fact, they kind of get where they bond to you. And that's really cool. You know, like Agnes, I just dropped the reins and walk off from her and come back hours later, and she might have moved about 20, 30 feet, find some grass, but she wouldn't leave. Jet Johnson, you could get off of him, throw the reins over the horn or over his neck, and he'd follow you like one of those dogs. Thanks, Randy. Man, Randy's been really, really good to me. I appreciate him. He came down here and rode some of this country that I ride. Cool. Guys, thank you. Thanks for showing up. And as always, onward and upward. That's the watchword. Thank you.